All right, so the Fed came out and had its 25 basis point cut. They had their press conference, and I don't know, to me, Jay Powell seems pretty dovish. But then Oracle comes in, has some funky earnings, and the market's very volatile early in the day, later in the day, and I'm getting ready for family to visit. So I'm just going to take a peek at what's going on in a couple of tech stocks, including Broadcom, that's posting earnings this afternoon, and dive in looking at the price action, that's the candlesticks, the market timing, your axis down below that you probably ignore, and momentum, my favorite indicator of the RSI power zones, because I'm HEMA ready, and that's what I do. So let's dive in on the monthly chart of Oracle. All right, so here what we can see is that we're in the context of a pullback. It's been for a couple months, since September, okay? So down below here, that April low is the real key platform for support in this market on a bigger picture time frame. Okay, it's not going to necessarily help you in your trading in the next few days or even weeks, but it's definitely important to keep an eye on. Then I'll change my time frame to a weekly. Now, on the weekly chart, we can still see that descent, right, from the September high. And right now we have approached the November 28th low, that week ending November 28th, but not broken below it. So that becomes a nearby support. So this is what top-down analysis helps you do when you look at it from a time frame perspective. You get to hone in on the key support and resistance based on their significance of what time frame they come from. Now let's take this down to a daily chart. And here we can see it looks like it may have broken. We get a look at the numbers, 186.23 versus 185.63. No break, all right? So now we know that with that in place, we still have resistance, but guess what? The most important resistance is currently from November 20th. Now, why would I glaze over the recent high at December 10th? Because unless and until we actually see price action break below the November 25th low, this was just an approach back to that level, okay? The lower high that is maintaining the downtrend from September is not the December 10th high. Technically, it is the November 20th high. Now, I would like to know if the market gets above the December 10th high. It's just not going to necessarily make the picture fully bullish, okay? I need to kind of see if we close this gap that's forming. Obviously, today's session is not done yet, and so forth. So that's what I'd monitor in Oracle. Now let's look at a couple of stocks that are affected by this move. So I'm going to go back to the monthly time frame, and I'm going to put in NVDA. So NVIDIA has also been correcting lower, but not as dramatically, right? More in November, and now when we go down to lower time frames, we'll see what's key here. So what was key on that monthly time frame that's also on the weekly time frame is the low from early September. Now we take that down to the daily, and we can see that there has been a end essentially to this downfall from October 29th to November 25th. However, it has not really turned the ship fully back to the upside for the bears, or for the bulls, I should say. All right, so here we can see that the high from November 20th is what you should monitor to see if NVIDIA really kind of picks back up. Okay, on the monthly chart of AMD, it's pulling back, but last month was an inside bar range, meaning the November range was completely inside the October monthly candlestick. There's a gap here, and it's given back some of the gains off those gap, but not all. Looking at the daily chart, this to me looks like a market that may want to roll over a bit more. I think that it's a very good chance that we see a return to the range from November 25th and then have to assess from there. Now let's look at CRWV. Now you might be like, Hema, there's no history in this chart. Well, it looks like it's a relatively new stock. I can go double check by going to the time frame that the chart is plotting, go back and type in history. Yeah, 20 years, okay? This is all I'm getting. So let's look at that on a weekly time frame. We'll have more data, okay? So as many stocks do after IPO'd, it kind of went sideways for a bit. It had a big run up. Now it's been lower. RSI is back in the bull support power zone on the weekly chart. Let's look at it on the daily. This one is looking pretty healthy. Looks like it's on a journey potentially back towards this old bottom from October 22nd. Last but not least, let's look at Broadcom. So again, we're going to switch this to a monthly chart. And here is the chart of Broadcom, ticker AVGO. You can see that this guy has really pushed up into bull resistance power zone on the monthly chart a few different times. So that's been a guide to help you stay in its longer term uptrend moves. Now we have the weekly chart, which is showing a bit of a disconnect between price and momentum. So if you were not long already, I would be less excited about putting a new long position on now based on the weekly chart. However, the daily is where we get the full detailed story. And on the daily chart, we maybe are just kind of pulling back a slight bit. And right now what's supporting the recent daily move higher is the low from December 3rd. So while we stay above the December 3rd low, even with the earnings coming out this afternoon, that could provide an opportunity for the next push up. So it would be a lower risk area to buy if you place your stop below the December 3rd low. If we see the December 3rd low defeated, then I'd be more concerned about returning back to the November 14th and November 21st lows. So that's a look at the tech stocks. When one has a big move in reaction to its earnings, if you are a stock trader, remember to keep an eye on related stocks because they may provide similar action and have similar volatility. So that provides another way to potentially look for setups that fit your plan. So if you found value in this video, reminder of top-down analysis, brushing up on your technicals, price, market timing, momentum, go ahead and give this video a like, and I'll catch you in the next one.